Republican Congressman Adam Kinznger, a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, a veteran of the U.S. Air Force who still serves as an Air National Guard major. Good evening, Congressman.
Good evening.
As not just a lawmaker, but someone who's flown missions over Iraq and Afghanistan, do you think airstrikes have been paused and are still possible in the hours ahead, or have they been canceled as the president, the administration regroups tonight?
You know, my feeling is they've been tabled. I don't think they're imminent. So, you know, maybe, obviously there are going to be options if anything happens. I think Iran would be really dumb to underestimate the president now if they do something again. But I don't expect that to be imminent, and I think it would just be kind of awkward now. But it would be a heck of a surprise if they actually ended up doing it tonight after all this.
So were you surprised that the president found out about the potential casualties, according to his account, so late in the process instead of at the beginning?
Yeah, I was, and you know, I woke up to the we're striking, we're not striking, as we all did, and I know that when presentations are given to the president, casualties are up front. That said, I've never had to make a decision like the president had to make, and that's got to be very difficult. It's got to be tough, and I don't know the kind of weight you have to carry on your shoulders, and maybe that number rattled around something big. I think the president has every right to withdraw from doing the strike. What I think was unfortunate today was how this played out in the public, and I think it could have been one of those things that, hey, we're going to hold this as a possibility. But I think in the future, if you use something against any U.S. force, you'll lose it. I think at least that surface-to-air missile site should go away in the future.
Rhonda McDaniel, the RNC chair, had an interesting tweet. She said, if Obama had called off airstrikes, the media would demand he get the Nobel Peace Prize. Such a double standard. Do you buy into any of that as a Republican, that this president is getting no credit for walking up to the line, considering the situation carefully, and against the narrative that so many in the media pushes every day, said, you know what, I don't think it's the prudent thing to do right now?
Yeah, it is kind of funny because, you know, again, well, I disagreed with the president's decision. But that said, this should be the thing that those that were claiming that President Trump was a warmonger and going to start World War III and he can't be trusted, and John Bolton, all this kind of stuff that they all say, they should now be celebrating that he's not what they said that he was, but they're not. So while I'm being consistent and I disagree with this decision, I think the president will use military force if something like this happens again. It is amazing to see the dichotomy of things. And also, by the way, the same people that kind of celebrated when President Obama didn't strike in 2013 in the Red Line.
Here's what the president himself, on a question of credibility, what he has said about military action before. Listen to him.
America will not be held hostage to nuclear blackmail. We will not allow American cities to be threatened with destruction, and we will not allow a regime that chants death to America to gain access to the most deadly weapons on earth. Today's action sends a critical message. The United States no longer makes empty threats. When I make promises, I keep them.
So is that why you're expressing some disappointment tonight?
Well, I think getting out of the Iran nuclear deal is absolutely the right thing, and I think Iran is lashing out right now. The president didn't make a promise to react militarily, so I don't think it's backing away from a promise per se. I just think there has to be a cost to the Iranians. If you shoot down a plane that actually could have had people on it, they may have misinterpreted, mislabeled this. The size of an airliner and $200 million, it's the cost of 10 F-16s. There's got to be a cost to you. That said, going forward, if they think that the president is going to do the same thing, if they shoot anything else down, I think he's going to, and the pressure is going to be on him so much that there will be a response that last night would actually pale in comparison to.
Yeah, interesting. Last question. What about this president moving forward and the fact that he threw out there today the idea of the potential for more sanctions against Iran? It does seem, as you say, Iran is lashing out in part because the maximum pressure campaign the president has been pushing is actually working.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, areas where there are opportunities for more sanction, we should do. We should label it as a result of this, so at least there's a consequence to shooting down our assets. And that's why, look, a stable, confident country doesn't put limpet mines on oil tankers and doesn't shoot down unmanned aircraft. They just don't do things like that. So they're scared.
Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger tonight. Thank you.